Now, as I said in part 3, the European Western rational tradition and the scientific method have, of course, created syntheses throughout European history, which has caused the development of law and European culture, and culture is problem solving entrenched, and therefore the Europeans are immersed in lots of different ideologies, okay, like hedonism, like so you eat enough to have pleasure but not too much that you put on weight, which led to utilitarianism, the denial of pain and the expression of pleasure, okay. Also Stoicism, but Stoicism was a bit uncaring, a bit cool, because it denied people praise because they just expected you to do your duty, okay. And also socialism merged with democracy. It gets social democracy, like social markets, and you produce to the point of social benefits, so you don't produce beyond that and produce more pollution. From the ideas of liberty, you get the whole sweep of philosophy that leads to the laws of the US Constitution, and from the side of equality goes into the European Union and the Lisbon Treaty, which then brings equality and liberty together. Okay, so you have economic rights and you have natural rights. Now, as I said, Europeans have stamped their problem-solving culture onto lots of parts of the world. Okay, and that's why South Africa looks like it does, or America looks like it does, and Europe, of course, looks the way it does. Okay, to solve those intrinsic problems that affect Europeans. Okay, now these are not the same problems that affect other cultures, and so other cultures have produced different technologies and different ways of doing things. But European values such as natural rights, that's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and also economic rights increasingly, are being accepted by other cultures throughout the world, and they're doing their own thing with them, as you've seen with China and Japan. Now, individuals, as we go through life, come across different philosophies. For instance, I've come across Zen philosophy, right, which basically says to just do not obsess about anything, okay, and just do the work to your best of ability, which is extremely like English working class philosophy, working class working ethics, which is weird. But anyway, let's get back to what I was saying about with Ann Coulter. Okay, now we all go through. We can imagine philosophies and ideas being diffuse gases, like air wafting up from grass, and individuals are like that blade of grass. I'm not saying individuals are insignificant. Most technology has been created by individuals, and of course cooperation between the whole many. But these ideas, like clouds, become ideologies. Okay, they condense. The ideas condense together. We are absorbing these ideologies all the time, and in different mixes we accept them or we do reject them through our own analysis. And that's partly to do with evolution, partly to do with what culture we're in, because people of different races, of course, can, through survival mechanism, become able to think the way, or perceive the way the other cultures work. Okay, you only have to look at other animals to see that this is the case. In fact, dogs and wolves particularly have probably a higher sense of social IQ than humans do, probably. Okay. These ideologies are still rational. Okay, you've got conservatism, liberalism, um, socialism. They have rational things to do with economics and liberty and equality. These are rational ideas. But then the more educated people are, the more attached to those ideas they become. And so the more indoctrinated people are. And the people of the most education and who are the most indoctrinated, you normally have the most power. But the most indoctrinated people are often the least rational. Okay? Because they believe they abandon the scientific method and believe they're absolutely right. Which leads us back to mystical religions, okay, as I said, with the Middle East. Now, how does this irrationality, or even to go really further, mysticism, affect a modern Western society? Well, the reason why I chose hope, audacity or hope, was because of the Obama election was quite weird in many ways. Here's a guy who the general public have very little understanding of. He's only been in the Senate a little while, and yet people projected that image of what they believed. They thought he was a new Kennedy, or the perception of what the Kennedys really were, because of course the Kennedy family was a bit dirty themselves. Okay, they were political animals, not angels. Okay, but you can say that the Kennedys were President Kennedy was a pretty good president for the time that he was in there. Okay, and then you're onto the cult of personality. It was like people wanted to disregard rationality and go directly for candidates that they didn't know about. Okay, you have several candidates on the stage which people have very little knowledge of. The only ones who are really well known was McCain and Clinton, and people despise them. Okay, was Barack Obama seemed like a fresh start, but he was given this kind of, we go through the same ideas of redemption, and all these ideas are projected on. Okay, I like the European Union's ideas quite a bit, and I like America as quite a bit, but there are things about the European Union and things about America that I dislike. Okay, I'm analysing each thing that they take, and often it boils really down to that these are the better alternatives. Okay, we shouldn't ever try to choose between two evils, but sometimes you have to do what's the least harm. Okay, and so I chose those two examples. But someone on the internet, on YouTube, made a video, and they disagreed with some thing that the European Union had, a country near the European Union had done, and that was Switzerland banning religious symbols. Okay, now Switzerland isn't even in the European Union, but this person projected onto them all their hopes and desires, just as people projected onto Obama. Okay, and so people haven't got away from this idea of hierarchy. Okay, and they're craving for someone they're always craving for someone to tell them that I've got all the answers, it's going to be all right. And that is the kind of thoughts that led to people, led to World War One, World War Two. Okay, we have to reject this, and we have to think for ourselves and be rational. Okay, and that is by positive inquiry and analysis of what's being done and using the scientific method. And that's all really I have to say. Thanks. Peace.